Hello guys, welcome to the Armory. This is where we play the Indoor Cricket League. Let's go around the place and learn what the rules are to be followed in this league. So we have runs all around the wicket. The wicket is basically, you can follow this is essentially the box, the batter's box, which we obviously play only one side. We have quite a long way to go. It's not really easy to get to score a 6 here. But there are various ways that we can get runs. We have runs declared because of the restrictions that we have here. On the off side, if the ball hits directly on any of the objects which are stuck to the wall, which includes this board right here, which says Boilermaker Army, even this cupboard here. I really can't go over every piece of furniture to make sure, you know, if it hits this is 2, if this is that, that is 2. That's anything stuck to the wall is 2 runs. If this structure here, if it hits here and comes back on, the ball is still in play. It is not 2 runs. Basically because it is too far away from the wall, and it will be too much of an advantage to the batsman if it, if he just gets to hit this, and there are too many of them throughout the Armory. So anywhere behind this, it has, even if it bounces directly on this wall right here, it is still 2 runs. The US Army board, the blocks on top. Now, the exercise machines are not 2 declared. So if it hits anywhere on the wall, it's 2 runs, but anywhere before the wall and bouncing on it, it is not 2 runs. Now, the decision of the umpire, the leg umpire will be seated right here, and the on-field umpire is final. So, if there are any, if people do not agree with whether it's 2 declared or not, as a rule, keep running. Do not wait, otherwise the opposition can run you out. This is 2 runs. So, the walls here, again, 2 runs. These exercise machines are permanent structures, these are not 2 runs. As we keep moving forward, now this is a permanent structure. It is here always, but this is not 2 runs. It's too far away from the wall. However, if it hits anywhere on this structure here, it is still 2 runs. If it hits anywhere on this structure, however, it is not, because again it's too far away from the wall. The boundary begins right from this corner here on the wall to the other corner. However, there are many structures in the Armory which we are not able to move, and hence if it hits any of these boards kept out here, or it's kind of difficult for the ball to directly come and hit the heavy board here, but we assume that anything that bounces there it's very difficult to stop it, so it definitely will be 4 runs. However, if it hits any of these structures which are not on the wall but well in front of it, along the straight boundary, if it hits it directly, it is not 6 runs, it is only 4. The only way in which you can score 6 runs is if you hit any of the structures, the wall directly, not any of those extensions. That is not 6. If it is in fact not even 4. If it comes back onto play, it is not even 4. All right. Now, these cars are frequently going to be in and out of here. Whenever they are in here, if it hits it directly, it's 4 runs, not 6. Also, if the fielder is in contact with any of these vehicles and catches the ball, the batsman is not out, and it's only 4 runs, it's not 6. If you can follow me here. Now, this structure here, although is 6 runs, extremely important. This entire wall is going to be 6 runs. Frequently, we will have dustbins to cover the glasses. Alright, so if you can see this structure that houses the door, the door will always be down when you're playing games, although the structure remains. If it hits the structure, it is neither 6 nor 4, but the ball is in play. So do not assume that runs are declared if the ball hits any of this structure at all. The only way it is a 6 is if it hits directly anything on the wall. If you can see the grey column that goes up, connects with a steel structure up there, that is 6. All right. So again, things do not change even if it goes from offside to the leg side. These vehicles are still 4 runs; they're not 6. Now we'll try our best to clear this area as much as possible. Although the armory is multi-purpose, people frequently store stuff here, especially during convocation time. They store a lot of furniture. That definitely is going to be a problem for both teams. But the best part is that it's not one team that suffers. The rules remain the same for both teams. So make sure, if you're confused, ask the umpire before the game what the rules are about any new structures that are not part of this video but will come during the season. Since this structure is close to the wall, you may assume that it's 6, but it's not. This is still 4 runs. So to be as unambiguous as possible, if it hits the wall or anything attached to the wall, like those structures, only then it's going to be 6, otherwise it's going to be 4 runs. Now, up to this point, you may feel that if anything along this wall, maybe 2 runs. Although if it hits anywhere and it's declared 2, but the ball trickles to the boundary, it's going to be 4 runs. So it's up to the fielders to not just give up chase. You have to stop the ball even after it's hit any of these structures directly and it's declared 2. Because if it hits, suppose, this side here and then bounces off, it's going to be a little difficult for anyone to kind of stop it here. But it's best that you do, because then it'll only be 2 runs and not 4. One thing about the 2 declared, you can be touching the wall and catching the ball, and it's not going to be 2 declared. That's a very important thing to note. About 4s and 6s, if you are in contact with anything that is going to be declared 4 or 6, it's going to be declared 4 or 6 and a batsman is not going to be out. However, if you're in contact with anything that's 2 declared, it's still going to be out. Let's focus straight up. That's the batsman's release. And it sometimes helps you because the ball kind of hits up, comes down, it can be saved. At the same time, it frequently it prevents the ball from going to the boundary. So it's going to be difficult, but if it hits any of those, it's obviously not going to be caught out. But if it hits there and goes to the boundary, it's going to be 4 runs. So the umpires definitely will have the final call on this one. The leg side is vastly different from the offside. You can see this structure here is a permanent fixture. It's not going to change. However, it's way too low for it to be called and way too constant for it to be called 2 declared. Therefore, if it hits this anywhere directly and bounces back into the game, the ball is still in play. However, if it goes anywhere inside, may it hit the wall directly or it even bounces inside, thank you Shitish, it's going to be 2 declared. Similar to the rules on the offside, on the leg side also, any of these columns, steel columns, if it hits these directly and comes back into play, it's not 2 declared. If it hits and goes inside, however, it's 2 runs. Now this area is very important. The ball can even take a few bounces and go inside, and it'll be 2 runs. So it's up, the onus is on the fielder to stop the ball from going inside. Going on, if sometimes these areas may be exposed, the rules stay the same as for this surface. The rules stay the same as for this surface. If it is directly there, the ball is still in play. If it bounces and goes inside, you can run no more than 2. So the onus is on the fielder to stop the ball from bouncing into the area behind the wall. Very difficult to retrieve the ball from there, and if you're not able to field it, your bad luck, it's going to be 2 declared. This area is behind the batsman, and if it goes in this area, you can run as many as you want to. However, if it bounces anywhere on this and goes inside or behind this curtain here, you can run no more than 2 runs. Now, these nets are always going to be on, and if the ball goes through the net, there are some holes in the net. If it goes through, it's 1 declared, and the batsman has to cross over. Right, now this is behind the wicket. So if Sambit is basically going to be taking guard, now the distance from where the batsman is going to be up to this area behind, it's quite likely that the ball will hit the back and come, back into the game. Now this area behind, if it hits directly on the wall, is not too declared. But if the ball goes directly inside, that the area out there, it's too declared. Now, if the batsman cuts the ball or there's a mishit behind this area between this main pillar and the section there, now again there's going to be a lot of material kept right there. You can keep running, but if the ball gets stuck, you can run no more than 2 runs. Now, this rule needs to be implemented based on the situation. So if the only way you can run your runs is if the ball goes in between the pillar and the end of the wall, but no more than 2 if the ball gets stuck. So that's the rule. Now we have covered the entire armory and how runs are going to be scored. I guess that's it for now. To the next section. We're now going to cover power play. Now we have 4 overs of power play in a total of 15 overs. The first 2 overs are compulsory power play. There's 1 batting power play and bowling power play that can be taken at any time in the innings. Obviously, if the batting and bowling side do not take it till the last 2 overs of the game, the 14th and 15th over are automatically going to be considered power play. Now, in the first 2 power play overs, it is mandatory that in addition to the keeper, there are 2 more fielders at least who will be behind this line here, which goes along the crease on both sides of the wicket, or both sides of the crease. Now, it's line calls. We do not have third umpire technology here, so line calls are definitely going to be difficult to judge. But we are going to ask each fielder to stay behind the line before the ball is bowled. If at any time the leg umpire finds the person is in front, even cutting the line, and it's clearly visible, the leg umpire can call that ball is a no ball. Alright? Now, in the first 2 overs of the game, it's wicketkeeper plus 2. But in the last, in the batting and the bowling power play, it's going to be wicketkeeper plus just 1 more fielder and not 2. Another feature of all the power play overs, there's the first 2 overs which are compulsory power play and the 1 batting and bowling power play overs, is that only 1 fielder is allowed behind this line here, which goes through these total circles. Now, every fielder has to be in front, except 1 fielder who is allowed behind this line. Every other fielder is supposed to be inside the line and not walking in before the ball is bowled. And if the umpire finds that the person is walking in, the umpire may not even warn you and give you a direct no ball. So as a captain, make sure that the relative fielders know that they have to be in front of the line before the ball is bowled. Now, at any time in the game, this is in non-power play overs, no more than 2 people are allowed behind this line. Now also, if you want to man this fence or this line a lot, and if you have a 3rd person, that person has to be inside the line before the ball is bowled. Thank you. No ball. The first ball over the shoulder in ICL is going to be considered a no ball. Also, if the bowler is fast, the bowler is a spinner, medium pacer, we're going to have 1 single rule about the ball, about the full toss ball or the beamer. Any ball above the waist, regardless of the speed or the kind of bowling, is going to be considered a no ball. It's going to be redrawn. It looks a little faint right now. This is the edge of the crease on the side. Then the rules for the no ball are like international rules. Every rule for no ball are international rules. The line belongs to the umpire. Therefore, if any part of your foot is, some part of your foot has to be behind the line. If it is on the line, it's going to be a front foot no ball, and each front foot no ball is going to be a free hit. Now, side step no ball, please keep in mind that if your front foot cuts, it's alright, but if your front foot cuts, your back foot is automatically going to be behind this line. Therefore, the rule in international cricket is about the back foot. If your front foot lands but your back foot cuts the line, it's going to be a no ball. But if your leg is going to be up in the air, it's to the air. It's not considered a no ball, but make sure that you are into the line and the umpire does not have to make those line calls which lead to controversy. So it's always best, although the umpire is going to warn you once if he feels that you're going, you're going to bowl back foot no ball, cutting the line, but the neck, and you have to control, where you land. But the next time, it's going to be called a no ball. So it's best not to be in a situation where you have very, on the border line calls. Two more rules. One is about the chucking. Now it's a little difficult to implement, or this rule, although because we don't have the technology to find out if a person is chucking. Often it's quite likely you might feel that a person is chucking, but it's going to be a little difficult to judge that. Hence this rule. Each time a captain finds that a bowler is chucking, they have to lodge an official complaint with the two umpires. The umpires will then convene and decide that they have to watch out for this bowler's action. If the umpires in consensus feel that the person is chucking, the bowler will be warned once. If the bowler continues to chuck, then it's up to the umpire's discretion to call the next chucked ball a no ball. After that, it's really up to the captain to either discontinue the bowler or ask the bowler to change the action. Although the process has to be through the captain to the umpire, and no other player should intervene in this. We've received complaints that leg umpires need to be left alone, and hence we're instituting a new rule this time. We have taken an ambitious project of scoring using a tablet this time. The leg umpire is going to be scoring using the tablet, and of course leg umpiring. One player from the batting team has to be sitting with the umpire and scoring on the paper sheet, so that even if the tablet conks off for some reason, we always have a paper copy. Apart from the leg umpire and the person from the batting team who is scoring on the paper, nobody else should be next to the umpire. The rest of the supporters or team members have to be behind the wicket, behind the netting, and that should be implemented in every game. Each team is going to be provided 2 new taped balls per innings. It's the captain's discretion when to use which ball. You don't have to wait for a set number of overs before asking for the new one. It's basically you will not get more than 2 balls completely taped per innings. Obviously, the batsman can ask to see the ball, and if he finds that any part of it might be causing extra swing or disadvantage to him, or if the tape comes off, the umpires can repair the ball with some extra tape, but cannot replace the ball. Obviously, if the ball gets lost, it's a different issue altogether. We will have tennis balls taped and at different stages of use, which can easily be replaced. So that should not be a problem.